Hey, this is Stephen Mossbrecker from Legit Tech Tutorials as well as the Hardware Development School Group. So I've made my past two analysis of Micronic's video to Scotty as well as the Micronic's Kickstarter campaign. And again, I made it public to help people out as well as promote my school group where I host all these resources and we'll have a private community similar to Patreon. It's kind of like Patreon as well. Takes less of a cut and is kind of the newest thing out there. Wanted to give it a shot. Anyways, so from the get go, obviously, I don't intend any disrespect. You know, this is hardware development. I've been doing it on my own hobbies for a long, long time, and do it professionally for 6 years or so, and mainly 5 years in R&D, and then 1 year in hardcore hardware development procedures and process, as well as in my day job, as well as in my person and in my small business. So let's go ahead and talk briefly about kind of what's next here. So the Micronics, right? The Micron printer. I mean, it looks to be a great printer, and you'll see something interesting here in one of my other previous videos. 58 hours left to go. I'm a big Kickstarter guy. I had a couple products on Kickstarter. Um, and the one that I had one that went through, and that one had a rocky development. That was back when I was really, really young, in my early 20s. I think I was like 21 or something. Anyways, but now I buy. I really agree with what Kickstarter is trying to do. I have backed, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 projects now at this point in the last 3 years, and I probably will back another dozen or so this year. Micron was one of the ones I was looking at backing until Scotty's video came out. Now, let's talk a little bit about the repercussions from Scotty's video. So I talked briefly about the response and things like that, and then how that ties in with my product development procedure. So basically, you want to have less than like a 3%. You want to have like a less than a 3% failure rate ideally, and you want to make sure that you're testing enough pieces of equipment that you have a decent sample size of what you actually plan on being in the field. So you want to make sure that all of that is in good shape and that you catch a lot of the problems before you give it to your customers. And then, like I said, you want to have probably a closed alpha ideally, and then an open alpha, and then beta. The beta can be your Kickstarter, so the open alpha would be to somebody like Scotty. While it seems like they had one video that I watched from Micron where they shipped it to one customer, or like a what is this, like a makerspace at their previous college, but that was the only one that they mentioned that they shipped it to. So I don't know if they had more closed alphas and how many of those they did, or if they only did that one. But anyways, let's look at that impact of Scotty's video that he released. So I believe Scotty released his video pretty early on, like the first day or two, right? And you can see basically it started off at like pretty strong $1.2 million, and then it went up to, I don't know, 1.35, and then up to 1.4, and then kind of bounced up and down, right? So it says here it's trending to get $1.5 million at the end. But I think that Scotty's really, really truncated the lifespan of it if it's not capped by, yeah, so they still have units left, right? So they still have the main unit left here. They have 204 backers and they have 800 units left. So it's not like they capped it and they ran out of units. They still have units left. But now they have, basically have this loss. So some of these are even below the red line where they are losing money rather than gathering. So here they got like 1.2 million and then, 150K or something. And you can see that it it basically kind of, after Scotty's video, kind of died off. So basically whoever wanted one got one, and then it just kind of dropped off. Here you can see this pledges. Here is easier to see backers, right? And then you can see like 340 backers the first day. So basically to go in and clean out all of the early birds. So down here to come in and clean out the early birds here, while the new one is 3,700. This is only 400. This is only $300 difference, right? So came in cleaning out $300 discount, then 35, then 12, 11, and then basically down 3 for basically had nothing and lost 4, 8 to whatever. And then you can see here the comments, so the engagement starts dropping off, right? And then you have days where there's nobody asking any questions. So versus something that I backed, right? So marked as received August 25th to 2023. I was one of the early backers on here. I can't remember which one. It may tell me in here. I forgot. But yeah, I just got the Kickstarter one. I can't remember which one I was, but I was up there in like the 3,000s. Anyways, so this one is got like 55,000 Hong Kong. I think this was like $3 or $4 million, but you can see here, this is the Bamboo Labs. So, and they had a relatively, I mean, they had a relatively clean product launch, and I would say pretty good execution. I've had issues with mine. His recent cutter getting stuck, um, the other jamming problems with cardboard spools, um, other things like that. The maintenance of having to clean the carbon fiber rods. So it requires some intervention and things like that of the user. But yeah, I mean, huge funding, 70,000 times above their goal, right? Huge amounts of money. Let's just open. So Hong Kong dollar to US dollar calculator. Hong Kong dollar. So let's say 54,900. 54,960,253. That's 7 million US dollars approximately. And of course, this is 2 years ago, 2, 3 years, 2 years, 2, 3 years ago. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, this is basically $7 million. So obviously, this is looking at today's Hong Kong dollar. So, anyways, but you could see the trend, right? So each day we can look at the daily, right? They're getting 80, 2 million Hong Kong, 1.7 million Hong Kong, 1.4, 1.7, 1.0, 1.19, 1 million, zero point 0.8, 1.7. So they push some ads or something, or one of the YouTubers releases a video, right? So pretty consistent, right? And here you can see that they had two, so the other one had 342, right? 342 backers in one day. 340. Here you have 2,486. So this is their first product. This is Micron's first product. Obviously, Bamboo Lab guys came from the DGI, ex-DGI software engineers, as far as I remember. But still, so basically the moral of this video is that first impressions are pretty much everything. So having some sort of product development process that I have on my Skool group really tries to help you avoid these problems. And I'm not saying that I'm above these problems. In my most recent project and also in my Kickstarter projects in the past and my other projects, I've had these issues of having, stuff fall apart, and, it falls apart, quote unquote, publicly. I mean, obviously um, not a huge, big viral hit or whatever. Nobody probably ever saw it, but same thing, it still happened. And it's difficult if you want to, re-engage with that customer after the first time, right? That something happens. So Same thing as my current project and my day job, right? I joined partially of the way through, and when I came in, I originally was going with the flow, and then I found some glaring issues that were overlooked to be able to speed up the timeline. And when I was required to bring up those holes, somebody with the highest authority shut down kind of the project, and we had to go back and fix those problems. But the main issue was that was already shipped to one customer, one of our biggest customers, and huge influence this customer, right? Like massive, massive, huge corporation. Anyways, and this corporation manufactures like stuff that's in every household in the whole planet. Anyways, so we had to pause the startup of that piece of equipment on their site and basically fix all these problems. And it took so long to fix all of these problems that the customer was very disappointed. And we heard, rumors that they were talking about incompetence and things like that. While, we should have had a different type of mindset going into it. Of course, half of it was with me there, half of it was with me not there. I actually now is getting close to half. It was a little bit more with the person before me than me taking over the project. So, but it was up to me and my job, same thing as Micronic's job, to make sure that these failures stay at a low rate and make sure that we preserve our first impression of, hey, this is the new project, it works great, here's the performance, give it a shot, right? To beta testing instead of, hey, let's ship a prototype, which is kind of what happened with Micronics, I guess you could say. Ship a prototype to the customer and have the customer try it. In this case, it wasn't a customer, it wasn't a paying customer, but it was somebody that whose job was to, and who you gave approval to release a video on it. So that is basically going to go to your customer. So it might as well be your customer. So sending a prototype to your customer and then having things go sideways, I've done that before. I've done that recently. And obviously, you live and you learn on these types of things. So I feel their pain. I've been there. This project, obviously, with the company that I work for, they would see it more so than me. But this has way more zeros attached to it than what Micronic's product looked like there on Kickstarter. So involved and in the balance of fix this thing and try to rebuild this first impression. So, okay, you didn't get the first impression well, but let's see how well you could recover. So that's basically on what I had to prove and what they would have to prove next. So that's it right now for the Micron system for Micronic's Trilogy. We'll see where it goes from here, and I'll try to find some other videos to do some reactions on and give my input, and also do some more stuff about the introduction of some of these different documents. So again, check out my link in the description for the Skool group, and go ahead and check that out and become a member to the exclusive Skool group. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later. Bye.